was sure I turned it off. What's going on, everybody? I know, I'm late to the party. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck's on my screen? Well, I found, a friend of mine told me about an old video game series. You know it, it's BioShock. I know. This is gonna be an original AF. Ass flip. But, that ain't gonna stop me from doing it. So, anyway, see, I'm gonna make one very specific thing happen. Well, two. The project that created the Big Daddies and the Little Sisters. Izuku was the alpha of the Alpha series. Basically, he was the first test subject. I don't know how old you have to be to go through testing, but I'm just gonna say, it's not that old. I think, canon Izuku age, he's ready for testing. Yeah. Anyway, his little sister is... God, y'all about to hate me for doing this. I'm gonna say the Hasai guy. Yeah, you already know where I'm going with this. Is working with, Rapture, and, Eri is Izuku's little sister, and she's gonna call him, Papa or Daddy or whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Papa. Anyway, so when Izuku was being first tested on, he shattered the armaments, also the sound. I'm just walking in a circle around my aunt's house, and every time I step on that gravel, it's always music to my ears. Anyway, where was I? I gotta put my hood on. My ears are just freezing. Anyway, when Midoriya, after he had shattered the prototype armor, they had to improve it. Now he's 9 feet tall and has a permanent drill hand. There's gonna be no Omega in this, so... Also, Eri's not gonna die, because the Alpha of the original, Alpha's original little sister died, but he was the only Alpha to rebond, but he rebonded with his brother, so it's a little confusing and a little weird. So, he's gonna have every gene, tonic. If you don't know what those are, basically, God, how do you do this? Basically, it's tonics that change your genes, and they only exist in Rapture. He also has every plasmid, which are essentially like superpowers. He's maxed out weapons, all that good jazz. I could have done what if they had a blacklight virus, and that would have been so much easier than this. But oh well, too little too late, it's whatever. Anyway, so I'm gonna say the heroes find out about Rapture, and they're like, this isn't legal, or whatever, even though that's technically, well, it may or may not be technically true. They can't really do jack diddly darn because, it's in national waters. I mean, they could. The Hero Society would have to have a viable reason, which I'm going to say because of the Yakuza, it's more than viable. So, Midoriya, he's walking. Also, Midoriya is bigger than All Might in terms of height and just body width and length. He's more buff than All Might. But then again, he's an Alpha series. The Alpha series was the strongest. You hear a boom while Izuku's wandering, like, I really need to figure out a tonic that'll help me speak. Well, then again, it wouldn't really matter. I have to protect Eri, and that's my entire purpose. We talk through telepathy, or telepathically. So it doesn't really matter if I can talk or not. Izuku hears a loud boom, and then Eri scream, "Papa!" And Eri looks like she normally does in canon, except for her eyes are a lighter shade of yellow, because plot. I'm not gonna give her the gray skin. Nah, I don't like that kind of crap. So yeah, it's like normal Eri, but her eyes are yellow instead of red. So after Izuku hears this, you hear boom, boom, boom. You hear her scream, "Papa, help!" And then all the pro heroes are like, "Wait, there's more people down here? Who's your papa?" You hear Eri screaming and crying, and then you just hear boom, 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 boom. The booms are getting louder and faster. And the pro heroes are like, "What the heck is that noise?" They just hear. They turn around and see a 9-foot monster with a red eye, because red vision, about to attack them. And Yuri's like, "Papa!" She runs over to Izuku, who then takes out a Gatling gun, just because, and gets into like you heard her, I will murder you and your entire extended family position, right? So, I pray to God no one hears this, that's why I'm kind of quiet. I'm outside, so it's a little concerning. People live here, and they probably would be super confused if I just randomly said. Then, he just turns into a giant monster and murders everyone. If you just heard someone randomly say that, you'd be kind of freaked out or confused. And I don't like human interaction. It just makes me uncomfortable. Especially if I don't know the person. I mean, it's different with you guys, because I kind of know you. I respect y'all. Y'all respect me. Random people, you don't respect. They don't know you, so they don't know if to respect you or not. If you're a good person. So, yeah, it's weird. I'm weird. Don't mind me. Anyway, so, Izuku, I'm gonna say Mandalay. Yeah, Mandalay. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good idea. Mandalay does telepathy. She links all of them together through link telepathy. And she hears him say in his head, like, "Calm down, please, Harry, calm down." And then she hears in his head, "Come on, Yuri, calm down, please." And then she notices that the thing that little girl called Papa is bouncing her in her arm while turning his light green. And she's like, "Wait, her name's Eri." All the heroes are like, "What? How do you know?" "The thing, it just told her to calm down." Zuko spins his head back to Mandalay, because I'm gonna say he noticed this, and he still was a huge hero nerd, but he doesn't know any of the newer heroes. I'm gonna say some new heroes are around, so he doesn't know their powers or quirks, but it doesn't really matter. Izuku, he's staring at Mandalay like, "She can hear me. Okay, then I can't plan out my attacks accordingly. If I don't think before I attack, then she won't be able to predict my moves. But I gotta get Eri out of here first. But where do I hide her?" Zuko puts Eri on his back, which, she slides in between the tanks. Which, that's where, the little sisters hide. You know, she slides in between the tanks. Izuku gets into like an offensive position. You know, he takes out. No, wait, he can't take out it. You know, he revs up his drill and, you know, he ignites his hand using the pyromancy or whatever ability. You know, and they're all like, that's his quirk? Wait a minute, how can he use his quirk? He's in a giant suit of armor. He's there, you know, Mandalay's like, that's not a suit of armor. No, not Mandalay. I'm a BS. Say there's another hero there that, you know, has X-ray vision or whatever. And, you know, they're like, what do you mean it's not, you know, armor? She's like, it's his skin. All of his only thing underneath it is muscle. You know, they all gulp like, what the heck was done to this kid? You know, not even All For One would do this, which I mean, they're technically right. Often would turn you into a monster and make it painless. This, you know, he's like, wait a minute. So she has telepathy. I wonder if she can link me to the other heroes. I want to talk to them, but, you know, don't have much of a voice box. You know, she says, he wants to talk to us. He doesn't have a voice box, he says. You know, they're like, okay, you know, link us. You know, All Might's like, okay, link all the heroes. Which was a dumb move in and of itself. You know, and she's like, I shouldn't link the little girl in. It could mess her up. You know, it could confuse her. So, also, Yuri at this point is around like 10. No, wait. The little sister's age? I don't think the little sister's age with the slug. Yeah, the moment you get the slug out, they age. I think that's how it works. If not, that's how it works. So she's still like 12, 11 or 12. I don't know. 11 or 12. Anyway, so, you know, after Midoriya and all of them get linked together, you know, I've been walking in circles for a few minutes now. This is crazy. I'm getting my cardio in. I ain't complaining. Anyway, so Midoriya, you know, he's like, this is perfectly timed. You know, then I'm gonna say he can, you know, release memories just for BS purposes. You know, he shows them what happened to him. They all felt his pain. All of them felt his turning around now. Because that's a human in a car. I'm running away. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and they're like, dear God, is that what happened to this kid? You know, while they're trying to process this, Izuku's like, now's my time to run. You know, Mandalay's quirk got turned off right after the, you know, the memories stopped transmitting. You know, he turns around, you know, sprints off. You know, he lays a few whirlwind traps, which if you didn't know, send your enemy is like hundreds of feet in the air, no, like 10, 5, 6 feet in the air. Yeah, 5, 6 feet in the air, and then they just kind of, you know, get stuck there for a little bit. I'm gonna say, you know, there was water in the way. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, he used his drill to punch a hole in the glass, which, you know, it's possible. And once, you know, the hole was open, I'm gonna say he switched his plasmid to the lightning plasmid, lit it up, and then ran. You know, Erie's like, ooh, I smell an angel. Or, yeah, I don't know, someone with a large amount of Eve. Or what is it called? I know it's not called plasmid. I'm pretty sure it's called Eve. No, Adam. That's the name. I remembered. I'm stupid. You know, she smells someone with a lot of Adam, which is big girl, you know, little sister traits. You know, Izuku's like, he's like, you know, he nods, kinda, sorta, you know. He's like, okay, you know, they start walking that way. The heroes are taking out the splicers, you know, getting the little girls, while taking care of the other little daddies. No, not little, why was I saying little daddies? The big dad, you know, the other big daddies. Which, you know, is, hello, where are you going?
What?
Where are you going?
Drop the shit off to Tori.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna keep walking and making this video.
You coming?
Do I have to? Or no? Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep making my video. If I come, I have to stop my video. Do I know a Tori? I swear I know a Tori. Do I? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I was just talking to my mom. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so when Midoriya was like, you know, they about fully cleared out Rapture. You know, they knocked out all the splicers. Recovery Girl stopped by and realized, you know, she could heal their physical bodies, but they would always still have that itch for Eve. No, what do I keep saying? Eve, Adam. Oh, freaking. Oh. The wind up here is weird. Like, it'll, okay, you know, you won't feel it in 1 second. It'll move some leaves and then you'll feel it. And there's like mice here, so like you'll see something move and think it's a mice. You'll stop and be like, what? Yeah, no, I just don't like mice. I mean, if they come out of nowhere, they kind of suck. Anyway, where was I going with this? I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, so they see, you know, the girl with white hair. Okay then. You know, they see the girl with white hair and like the guy that's bigger than All Might. I'm gonna say it was Mandalay who found them. And you know, I'm just gonna go. You know, and then Mandalay, you know, she was like, help, you know, I found Subject Alpha, because I'm gonna say that, you know, found notes and figured out who he was. She's like, I found Izuku Midoriya. You know, Izuku looked at her like, who is that? He's like, is that my name? How long have I been down here? Did I feed Eri? You know, he looks at Eri, you know, telepathically. He's like, hey, Eri, did I feed you this morning? She's like, yep. You know, she says, yep. And he's like, oh, okay, then good. You know, he picks her up, throws him on his back. Because if you didn't know, they do need Eve, but they also need food and water. Luckily, there's a lot of it in Rapture, because plot bowl. Never-ending supply of food. Yeah. Anyway. So, when Midoriya was, you know, while Midoriya was walking away, you know, I'm gonna say that, you know, Mandalay, I keep forgetting her name, was like, hey, wait, you know, we can help you. We can get you out of here. We can get you back to the surface, to your families. You know, Izuku, after hearing that word, you know, you could see, you know, you could visibly see the light go yellow as he, you know, turned around. You know, and she was already telepathically talking to him, and he's like, my family were the ones who threw me into this heck hole. So, excuse my language, but they're the reason I'm in this heck hole. Now, if you don't mind, I would kindly appreciate it if you flipped off and went away. Me and Ari are fine down here. We don't need you. We don't need your help. My job is to protect her. No matter the cost. Even if that means my life. I will protect her. And she's like, so you were programmed? Lisa's like, no. When I saw her before this crap happened, I promised that I would protect her, which, he did. I gotta scratch my butt right quick. Hold on. Don't mind me. My butt is itchy. Anyway, so Midoriya, got up and walked away after, Eri got climbed onto his back. Oh wait, I already said that crap. And he says the reason she's here is because her power was too strong. So he sent her down here. After that, she became a little sister, and then my best friend. If you hurt her, you threaten her, you even lay a finger on her. No, if you look at her in a weird way, I will murder you in the most horrific way possible. And she's like, I'm not. We're trying to get everyone out of here. This place is collapsing. He's like, I know. What do you think my secondary directive is? Hold this place together. You've been killing all the other caretakers of this place. Our job is to protect the little sister and keep Rapture in one piece. You're not letting us do our job, so this place is falling apart. And if you kill the head honcho up here, you'd screw us all over. What do you mean? He creates Adam. Without Adam, I don't exist. No, he regulates Adam. He's the reason these slug things are alive. He pulls one out of his back pocket, because I'm going to say, he had to carry an extra one because of how much Adam he had to burn through to keep her. No, I'm going to say he points to something on the ground. It's a little sister with something crawling out of her stomach. Because it was, she was killed by a splicer. And the thing is slowly dying. And she's like, what are those? Mandalay's like, what are those things? He's like, they're called atom slugs. They create the stuff that I run off of. She has one. She needs Adam to survive. But she's the only thing that can make it. Because of you, the guy that can make enough Adam to keep me alive, keep me her alive indefinitely, is going to die. Because you want to kill all of my comrades, stopping us from keeping this thing in one piece. This may be chaos, but it's orderly chaos. By killing the Big Daddies, by killing the creator of Rapture, you're not only killing hundreds of innocent people that were corrupted by his power, but you're killing innocent children. You're killing humans. You're killing us all. But I get it. You want to bring us to the surface, right? To experiment on us and figure out what makes us tick. Well, I'll tell you. This suit was grafted to my skin against my will. You should know that. I've killed hundreds, no, thousands to protect the person, the single person I care about most. And that is my only job now. This place is gonna fall apart because of you heroes. If she dies, I will go into an unstoppable rage and exterminate all of humanity. Because you would be the reason, the only thing I care about, would cease to exist. Now, tell me how that's fair. Mandelay's like, what if I tell you we could reverse engineer Adam? It's impossible. Only the guy who created Rapture has the correct compounds. Not to mention these slugs can't survive more than an hour outside of a little sister. Outside of a body. They can't live. She's like, what if I tell you we figured out a way to reverse engineer it? Adam. And he's like, well, if that was theoretically possible, someone in Rapture would have done it already. One of the sane humans who hasn't had enough Adam to taint their brains. You know, they're talking telepathically, so, you know, she's like, heroes, hurry up. You know, she sent it out in SOS on a different frequency, so they wouldn't notice. You know, Nezu walked up like, what she is saying is very true. If you only come to the surface. He's like, so you called for backup. I don't think it's going to help you. You know, he starts revving up his drill. You know, and they notice his back. You know, he would notice because that pseudo armor is his skin. Also, he weighs about a ton. You may be like, that's bullcrap. He wouldn't notice a few pounds difference. He would. You know, he doesn't even notice that he weighs a ton anymore. He feels his back was there, and he's like, so you called in a stealth person to take. You know, he turns his head. No, he, with his hand that doesn't have a drill on it, because that drill is permanently, well, not permanently, you know, he can detach it, reattach it, because why not? You know, with the drill, the hand that doesn't have a drill, he feels around on his back. You know, his helmet goes yellow. You know, oh, that's cool. There's a lot of birds out here today. You know, his light goes, oh, you little sucker. Anyway, you know, his light goes yellow. He starts frantically looking around. You know, he looks up and he sees, what's his name? Edgeshot holding Aerie. He's like, give her back. You know, the noise, you know, like the siren noises that the big daddies make. Yeah, he starts making those noises. You know, he takes out the rivet gun, and he's like, I can't shoot. I might hit Aerie. You know, he walks over to Mandalay and grabs her by her head, holding his drill up to her chest, saying, tell your guy to put my Aerie down, or I swear I will drill straight through you. You know, Mandalay's like, Headshot. Don't let her go until you got this guy under control. You know, his thing turns red. You know, and you could, I'm gonna say there's, you know, some pipes. No, there's like valves that opened up and it started releasing steam. That sounded like a train whistle blowing, like. You know, he's mad. So he brings back, you know, his drill arm really far, and then, you know, he feels it stop, and he can't move it, so he looks behind him, and he sees, you know, All Might holding his arm. You know, he tries to shake him off, but it's not really doing much. So he drops Mandalay, grabs All Might with his other arm. You know, he grabs one of All Might's arms with his empty hand, and then throws him against the wall. You know, he takes out his rivet gun and shoots All Might's costume to the wall. You know, he is walking back over to Mandalay to demand that, you know, she tell Edshot to put Erie down. I'm gonna say that they brought the UA students for training purposes. Because why not? UA's made dumber decisions. Anyway, you know, then, you know, Todoroki rounded the corner with Endeavor. Endeavor was like, stop right there, Alpha. You know, and Todoroki was like, dang it, Dad. You know, he froze Izuku in place. Izuku, you know, he instantly shattered the ice and kept, you know, he started speeding up. You know, he started walking a lot faster. You know, and I'm gonna say, just because Mandalay linked all their minds together, he's like, tell that freaking ninja wannabe, tell that jumping splicer wannabe to put my Erie down, or I swear to God, I will drop this place on us. You know, the light, I'm gonna say it went off for a second, and he flashes it red, and it stays on this time. You know, and then, you know, Erie was like, Papa, help! Tell them to put me down. You know, he says, don't worry, Erie, I'm gonna stop them. We just need to stay calm. Anyway, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just walking around outside. Again, sorry for if there's any audio disturbances. Anyway, so Midoriya then, you know, is like, okay, I gotta figure out a way to make them put her down without hurting her. Think. You know, you could actually see him realize what to do because the red light turned yellow and then back to red. They're like, what's he thinking? All of our brains are linked together. I don't know. He hasn't thought of anything yet, apparently. Which I'm gonna say, you know, he can seal off his brain to, you know, certain frequencies. You know, he linked up with Aries' brain and he's like, Aries, I'm gonna need you to trust me. You know, she's like, okay. You know, he takes out with his empty hand. I'm gonna say, you know, he opens the valve in his hand and the other valves in his arm, because I'm gonna say, you know, there's valves everywhere. You know how valves are pretty much everywhere on the big, you know, like little portholes and valves are pretty much everywhere on the Big Daddies. Yeah, he opens all the ones in his, you know, his left hand. I'm gonna say hundreds of insects, like a devouring swarm of just bugs, came out of his arm and then started attacking, you know, Edgeshot. And, you know, Edgeshot wasn't expecting this, so when he went to swat them, they all went around the attack and then started biting right at him, you know. And considering these bugs are under Izuku's complete control, you know, he makes them avoid area at all costs. You know, so Edgeshot drops Eri. You know, Izuku grabs her, and then, you know, now he may weigh 1 ton, but that sucker is fast. You know, he bolts it. He's gone. He's like boom, 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 boom. You know, Eri's like, yay, Papa won. Papa kicked some bad guy butt. You know, Izuku chuckles, and, you know, he notices that this place is now crawling with normal people, and they're all hunting him and Eri down because besides the head honcho, which the reason I keep calling him the head honcho is because I don't remember his name, so I'm gonna say Izuku doesn't. Besides Izuku, Eri, and, you know, the creator of Rapture at the 100th floor, you know, which is at the very bottom of Rapture, there is no one else. Like, everyone else is safe. So they're trying to find a way in, and we're also trying to hunt them down. So they have hundreds of heroes patrolling the area. Izuku's like, we can't hide forever. I got an idea. Eri, I'm gonna need you to trust me. She's like, okay, Papa. I'm gonna say that he's stowaway. He shoves Eri into a capsule. And he shoves her on board one of the ships while attaching, hooking himself onto the back of said ship when it went to go up to change out heroes that are in there. So he grabs Eri out of the capsule, throws her back on his back, and then starts running. He's trying to get out of wherever he is. He doesn't even know where he is. So, while he's running, I'm gonna say, you remember Coat Hanger Guy? The guy that looks like a Pokemon? Yeah, him. He's like, villain, run! Izuku looks to his right and he's like, screw it, I don't have time. He keeps running. He's moving pretty quick. Then I'm gonna say, oh, what's his name? Not Green Torino. I actually forgot his name. Kamui Woods. That's his name. Yeah, Kamui Woods pulled up like, stop there. Villain? No, wait. You're one of those big daddies. I'd take a few of you out. I bet I could take you out too. And I'm gonna say, Project Delta's kinda super dead. Shoo, they've never met a big daddy besides Izuku with plasmids. And, Kamui Woods never met him. And the alpha was kept a super top secret thing between, the head of the superhero society and the top 10 pro heroes. No one else knew about him. No, the top 5. Because I'm going to raise Edshot's rank. So, basically, Midoriya, he finally had enough. So he turned around to face Kamui Woods, and I'm gonna say, All Might jumped down like, have no fear, for I am here. Get back, rookie. Get back, newer hero. I will handle him. He's like, it's that guy with the yellow hair. That's weird. Why is he here? Izuku's like, well, I know he's strong, but that was in close quarter. That was in very close quarters. So he probably couldn't attack using full power. The best he could do was grab me back then. Now we're out in the open. We're in a really big room. He's trying to figure out what All Might can do when All Might charges at him. So Izuku, he set down a whirlwind trap because he thought Kamui Woods would attack him. So he threw down a whirlwind trap that sent All Might flying. So Izuku, he took out his ice plasmid, and then, because yes, he does have an ice plasmid, and then he shot All Might, freezing, temporarily freezing All Might. Izuku's like, well, gotta run. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I stepped on a stick, don't worry. So I'm gonna say, he cranks up the speed using whirlwind trap because Izuku's super creative. It's a cow, I would suppose. I would hope it's a cow. I really don't want to know what they're doing to it, though. Anyway. So, Izuku used whirlwind trap to, when he stepped in a certain spot, it would launch his legs forward, making him go a lot faster. So, I'm sorry. I'm bored. So he doesn't know where he's running to. So I'm gonna say, when he hits the skirt, he's right outside of UA. He was like, this guy. Oh, well, I did gain some massive distance. I know he's coming because I threw a tracker on him, which he can do, while also being able to create a singularity. But I would say, he used like a tracking dart. He used a singularity plasmid to teleport a tracking dart into All Might's costume, so he knows where All Might is, and he's running straight towards him. So Izuku is like, okay, I'll hide in here. He can't fight. He can fight close quarters, but I have a better advantage. He runs into UA, not knowing what it is. UA goes under full lockdown. He's like, what the heck is this place? What's going on? He sees all the students see him, and he sees all the students. He's like, oh, meat shields. Isn't that just nice? He raises his drill and he spins it. And then all the kids are like, oh, this is so big daddies they've been telling us about. Izuku's like, Izuku, he chuckles. And they could hear, you're like, he may not have a voice box, but I'm gonna say he can somehow still chuckle. So, he starts running towards them. He's herding them all into one area. The center of, I'm gonna say like the gym. The center of UA. He's like, okay, now I have hostages. What the heck do I do? I may not be out in the open, but this place is still a little big. Even with hostages, I have a chance of losing. He looks back and he notices Aries asleep. He makes like a, he makes like a noise he makes an aw sounding like noise. But everyone else sounded like a growl. So I'm gonna say, he can move the tanks on his back. He picked up Aerie in his, that open hand, his hands. He set her down. He gave her to... No, he didn't give her to anyone. I'm gonna say he hid her in a box. Because I'm gonna say there's a giant stage, so he just hid her in a box. And, Mina's like, I wonder if I can get through his armor with my acid. Kirishima like, that's a bad idea, dude. That's really bad. What if he notices you before you get too close? And then Todoroki's like, I've seen that one before. Don't do it, Mina. With a very scared voice, he's like, don't do it, Mina. It's a really bad idea. And she's like, what do you mean? This guy threw around All Might like he was nothing. I froze him using my strongest ice attack, but he just broke through it by walking. You try to hurt him, he will murder. He will not hold back. This guy's got insects in his arms. Insects in his arms? Ew. Then again, I think it's a plasmid. They've been teaching about those to you guys, right? They're like, yeah, they alter your genetic code. How many does he have? I don't know. Guy's got a lot of them, though. Although out in the open, I bet All Might would have a chance of beating him. In close quarters with hostages, All Might wouldn't risk using full power. Baku's like, screw that! Alpha turns around. He slightly tilts his entire body to the right, being like, huh? Like, what you said? And then you hear Katsuki, Katsuki jumps up and says, I'm gonna kill this thing. You know, Todoroki's like, what? Katsuki, you idiot! You know, Katsuki charges at Izuku, or Alpha, or whatever you want to call him. Izuku grabs Katsuki by the face and slams him into the ground. You know, as soon as Izuku stands back up, you know, he notices that Irie's moving. So, you know, he's like, Irie, if you're awake, come here. You know, he starts, you know, lightly trudging over to Irie's location, noticing she's moving away. Wait a minute, away? Izuku's like, no, 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 no. You know, he takes after Zoro, revs it up, and then crashes through a wall, seeing, you know, goes backstage, noticing Sue, Uraraka, and Jiro, you know, grabbing her. You know, she wakes up, huh? Papa! You know, you hear Irie yell, Papa! Make him let me go! You know, he runs over. I'm gonna say he clotheslines. Now y'all are gonna hate me for this. He clotheslines Jiro, and then he grabs Uraraka, snapping her arm between his fingers. And when he grabs Sue, you know, the spotlight goes very, very red. You know, he lets out a lot of bloodlust, which knocks her out. You know, all the kids feel the amount of bloodlust. Also, he is very much alive. I'm gonna say that Bakugo came in clutch then. You know, he grabs Irie and he grabs, you know, the 3 other hostages and throws them back into the pile. You know, the spotlight's still red, so he is massively angry. They can see a little girl holding on to, you know, what's it called? No, this suit. You know, and you see him, you know, bouncing his left arm while holding her. And then you hear him just, which is his form of saying, shh, because she's not listening to him telepathically right now, so she's trying to calm her down normally. You know, I'm gonna say All Might and the other pro heroes finally arrive. Izuku's like, crap, this is really bad timing. You know, he gets into a defensive position, making sure Eri is completely blocked by, no matter what, Izuku will protect Eri, even if it kills him. I'm gonna say his range is nearly infinite, so even if she's on the other side of the world, he will know where she is, and he won't get unbonded unless he's that around, you know, halfway across the world far away for more than a week. But that wouldn't really matter considering Izuku is fast as fudge. Like, he can move around at the speed of sound, that's how fast he is. Anyway, so Midoriya, after like a few more minutes, finally, you know, was rendered immobile by, you know, the heroes, who then grabbed Eri and started taking her away. You know, Izuku, you know, he was fighting harder. You know, Mandalay walked in and was like, wait, don't take the little girl. He'll go berserk. They're like, what do you mean, Mandalay? She's like, this kid, she's the only one keeping him, you know, his rage contained. You take her away, you open up, by taking her away, you let go of the key, which his rage grabs and opens the gate. You're screwing us all over if you take her. Okay, so we just leave her with him? Yeah. Did you hurt her in any way? What? No. Okay, good. Give her here. Huh? No. What are you going to do, Mandalay? Mandalay grabs Eri and walks over to Midoriya. Here. I'm sorry about the inconvenience. I know he must be confused, but, you know, after the heroes let him go, he puts Eri in one of his oxygen tanks, because I'm gonna say he can, he takes one off his back, opens it up, puts her inside, and then before he puts her inside, he uses his drill to drill a few holes, and then puts her inside, and then throws her back on, picks it up, puts it back onto his back very gently. Then he makes the drill disappear, and then he just hugs Mandalay because, he's happy that she gave Erie back. His light turns green, and then, telepathically he's like, so, what do you want? You wanted to bring me up here. What do you want? She's like, oh, you see, we need your help. We want you to become a hero. You're the only super intelligent Big Daddy, so we thought it'd be extremely useful to have you as an ally. But you refused to come with us until that. You refused to work with us, so I guess you would want to go back to... And Ozuka says, no. I owe you everything. She's like, what? Why? You gave her back to me. That's all I care about. She's the only thing I got. Thank you. Izuku's then, will only listen to Mandalay. So, yeah. We're gonna do, the actual story. In the next part, I will be doing part 2 to What If Deku was trained by Dream, Technoblade, and Philza soon, but I am currently with family, if you didn't know, so I really don't have much time on my hands. The only reason I got this is because I went to go on a walk, and that took a lot of convincing from my mom.